And there we go, we are off. So in case you don't know what NG Plus is, basically the runners are going to be going through every single level in a single player campaign. All of them have been previously completed. This is a completed file. But basically they're just going to be going through all of them again, pretty much. And there's going to be every single level, including the final boss. The reason why we made this the rule set is because the final boss, DJ Octavio, is extremely RNG. He varies by about 2 minutes, and so we thought that'd be really unfair to the runners. So we decided to leave them out to make it a little more fair. Looks like Ian are struggling with a little box jump. Level 3. And it seems like Ymuy is also starting out with level 1, too. Level 3 is a very cycle-based level. So Ian's going to be doing as fast as he can to make the cycle. Another really interesting thing with this category is since you're on a complete file, you basically using upgraded upgraded weapons. And all the subs are unlocked, and there's no cutscenes. Well, they do throw you cutscenes, but you have the ability to skip them. So because of that reason, this category can get pretty intense since there's barely any breaks. Since you're skipping all the cutscenes and you're going from level to level. And this is also a pretty technical category too, since you're basically going through each level as fast as possible. I've said this before, but this is pretty much individual level runs the full game run, pretty much. Each stage is going to be performed as fast as humanly possible. There is an I'm trying to not make him jump there. Just for simplicity reasons, we just call him Ian, pretty much. Or we call him Dylan. But Ian is what we usually call him in the community, so just for simplicity reasons. That's what we'll be just referring to him as. And also, another thing that some of you probably noticed, Ian is a webcam gamer. So unfortunately, we're not going to have the best video quality from him, but that's why ymuy is here. But so far, I wouldn't say the quality is too bad. You know, we can see the gameplay, we can see what's going on. It definitely could be worse, so, you know, I definitely not complaining at all. You can have a pretty solid battle section. Always now. Oh, going back for the special. It can be this section actually can be faster if you use the special, but only if you use it at a very specific time. Because basically, it can go in 2 ways. One, the enemies die, or they don't die and they get thrown up into the air. And that can waste a bit of time since they're basically being almost off the stage and you can't reach them. And then you basically have to wait for them to fall to their deaths, which, you know, takes time. We're now going to be heading to level 1. These beginning levels are pretty much speak for themselves. There's not a lot of stuff that stands out, just some platform mess for Splatoon techno. But then it gets more intense and harder as the worlds progress, as they should, of course. We're not going to be heading to level 3. I believe ymuy is going to be doing all the levels in chronological order, so that means 1, 2, 3, and so on. I know there's nothing wrong with that. Our initial plan was actually to do the levels in chronological order, just to keep a very set route in, but we realized we really didn't need to do that. We just needed the runners to do every single world in worlds, or sorry, every single level in each world chronologically. It doesn't matter what order you do the levels in each world, just as long as you basically do every level in world 1 and 2 and so on. And that would be good enough to verify as a run. Because what really sets this category apart from others is that it doesn't signal you when you've actually completed the run. Because, you know, for any percent, you're basically unlocking every level as you go, and we know you've run when you've completed the final boss and everything. But for NG Plus, you're just doing every level in a completed run, and as you can see, oh, it looks like ymuy getting a new record, 114. Very nice. But basically, you can super jump to any level in the game that you want. And so there are a lot of menuing skills that you need to learn in order to get to every level as fast as possible, of course. There's actually no overworld optimization at all. There's just a bunch of menuing and just doing every level. One fun fact about the community in this game is we actually made Octavio list, which is basically the category that we're doing now. We actually pretty much made it its own category called NG Plus Octavio list, IGT. IGT stands for in-game timer. So pretty much what we do is we're basically just calculating the sum of in-game timers from every level. Because as you can probably see on the top screen, there's an in-game timer for every single level in the game. And so basically what we do for that category is we just take every final in-game timer for every level, and basically that's the final time. Because it really only matters like what you're doing in the level. Because outside the level, all you're doing is menuing and switching weapons. That's all there is. So really, the main focus is just, you know, the optimization of, you know, inside every level and what weapon you're using. And now moving to World 2, using the charger on level 6. Every single charger level is a very precise and technical level because, you know, that's the kind of weapon that the charger is. Any level that uses the charger is going to be a very precise level. We're only going to see about three weapons in NG+, and it's going to be the Hero Shot, the Hero Dualies, and the Hero Charger. The Hero Charger is for a very long-range weapon, as you can see, so it's going to come in handy with many levels that we'll see in the game. You're struggling a little bit with this jump here, but eventually does make it. That jump can be a bit tricky because you basically have to stand on a railing that can be a bit slippery, and then you gotta jump and shoot. So it is pretty easy to fall off. Now he's gonna be doing the Stingray skip, which skips almost half the level. So it's pretty cool. I believe that's a 108. It is a little hard to make to read the times, so it's not the best quality, unfortunately. Also, a lot of these were Longian. Not going to be going for the boosts here, which is nothing to be ashamed about. Like I said, they were very hard tricks to pull off. The game is now in level 7 with the dualies. the reason why NG Plus runners use both the hero shot and the hero dualies, because some say like, oh, aren't they pretty much the same thing? Close. The hero shot has a little bit more range than the hero, but one very useful thing with the dualies is that they have the ability to dodge roll, which ymuy get very well done. But anyway, the dualies has the ability to dodge roll, and it basically almost like pushes you downwards, and your ability to travel faster on non-inkable platforms. Because movement-wise, swimming is the fastest way of traveling. Basically, you're just laying down a line of ink and just swimming through it. That's the best movement for this game. But there are uninkable platforms, or like uninkable floors in the game, and so because of that you can't ink them, and therefore you can't swim in them. And so the next best thing would be to walk in kin form. But if you have the dualies, you basically can just kind of dodge onto it pretty much. And that is faster than just walking in kin form. We're now on the final section of 7, which involves the squeegee. Squeegee's behaviors are pretty RNG, but they can be manipulated with curling bombs, because curling bombs go in a straight line, so it's very easy for squeegees to follow them because they are attracted by bombs. The curling bombs are the best since they go in a straight line. Because if you were to use something, say like splat bombs, they do follow them, but splat bombs only last for a couple of seconds before they explode, and the squeegees will only be attracted to them until they explode. Afterwards, they'll lose interest and just venture elsewhere. So, whereas we need to make sure that the squeegees are constantly carrying them in the direction that they need to. And as you can see, the dodge roll mechanic really comes in handy when grind rails here. Because on these grind rails, you move the same speed whether you're in squid or kid form. It doesn't matter. You'll go the same speed. Looks like Ian's going for nollie jump. Very well done. But yeah, that's where the dodge roll really comes in handy, because it really that's really the best way to go faster on those grind rails than just sitting on them. We're now going to be going into level 6 with the charger. The route that goes into this category mostly depends on weapon optimization. As you can see from the route that Ian's doing, he makes each weapon last for as long as possible until basically he can't, until he needs to like switch weapons, and then does a string of levels with that weapon, and so on. That's what a lot of runners base their route around, because, you know, again, it really only matters what you're doing inside the levels, and the time difference is not that big. Ymuy is just going to be doing all the levels in chronological order for just for simplicity, and also because it's easy to remember too. And switching weapons literally takes about a second. Really, like the top runners only do the weapon optimizations because they want to save those seconds on switching weapons. But yes, it really doesn't take as long as one would think. The difference is not that big. Ymuy with another personal best. He's just rolling out these personal bests here. And there's also, if you're doing the levels in chronological order, it's also easier me to also, make sure you're not skipping a level or anything. It's easier to kind of keep track on where one's ahead. That's another thing we considered when we were planning out this category to be ran in the tournament and everything. But we decided, you know what, we know who's ahead because we're going to be doing worlds in chronological order. So when one moved on to a world and such, at that point we'd know. So looks like Ian's going to be getting a 125 in level 4. That's a very good time. Why not doing 7 with the squeegees? He's now going to be heading to level 9, Octavio level. These levels, there's one in every world except for the first world because it only had 3 levels. Every single world afterwards has 6 levels and a boss. So anyway, these Octavio levels involve you playing on. Some of you might recognize this level as the reef, or this stage as the reef. And basically what you do is you collect these 8 mini zapfish that are scattered across the map, while an army of octolings, which are basically like clones of your character, pretty much, attack you. Almost kind of like a multiplayer match. I consider this mode to be Turf War, pretty much, because you're going all around the map. And then there's like those Octoling ranked stages in Octo Expansion. We're now going to be going into level 8, which is mostly uses these ink furlers that are like the community refers to them as fruit roll-ups. It's kind of funny. I love the names that they come up with. Oh, it actually looks like that ymuy is going to be going into level 9 now. Hope she's not skipping 8. We don't need another runner skipping levels. Looks like Ian got his armor broken at that section, but was it still able to make it past? That section could be a bit dangerous because you're basically trying to squeeze through this blockade of enemies without getting hurt. Getting your armor broken is very critical to the run because when your armor is broken, you basically are then one hit away from getting splat. You are extremely slow, and also enemies can see you in ink too. You can't hide. So, and because of the fact that you slow down, you obviously lose a lot of time. So getting your armor broken is very critical to the run. You're now going to be doing the boss, Octo Samurai. Just watch this guy get wrecked. It looks like you always doing level 8 now. Good. Don't have to deal with any skipping, at least for now. I love how Octo Samurai pretty much just like gets destroyed before he has a chance to do anything. And ooh, unfortunate death by ymuy. The thing about these Octo Furlers is that they do retract when enemies shoot them. And that's kind of what happened there. The enemies shot the Octo Furler, and they started like immediately retreating backwards. or retracting, sorry. And yeah, that knocked her off. So that can happen. Yeah, now gonna be moving on to World 3. World 3, I'd say, from a runner's perspective, is the hardest world. At least it's more consistently hard. Some of the hardest levels I'd say, are in World 5. But World 3 is seen as the most consistently hard in the game. Because these levels have a lot of technicality, especially since all 3 weapons are used throughout the levels of the world. This one that Ian's doing right now is 10, which involves these Octoseekers. Obviously, just don't gotta get crunched by them. There is a sectional cycle towards the end of this level. A lot of people actually thought it was a global cycle, but we discovered that it actually wasn't true, because no matter how fast or slow you go, once you enter the section that the cycle is on, that's when it begins, and it's this section right here. So now entering the section, he's going to make sure to go as fast as he can to make the cycle, and it's basically this Octoseeker going in circles. It is a bit hard to get, but he's taking it with ease. Ymuy now completing the boss and moving on to World 3. And here is almost done, just gotta get past this pathway of sponges. Sponges can be weird in this game sometimes, because they basically activate with your shots, by shooting them, of course. One of the fastest method of getting up sponges, if you're using them to get you to a higher place, is shooting them under you. But sometimes it can be weird because the shot RNG of the weapons can like activate them on times at different times that you don't want to. So sometimes they can like push you off, and sometimes you stay on them. So it is a bit weird. You're now gonna be doing level 12, which is the level with the bounce pads. You're gonna be using the dualies because there is a pretty long vertical section in this level where you're basically just like falling, and you can actually use the dualies to like kind of force yourself downwards and go through that section quicker. We'll see that in just a second. We'd also do some trickery with the bounce pads too, so you're basically like bouncing into them faster, pretty much. But here's the vertical section. You're basically gonna dodge downwards and gets through it in no time. Ymuy here approaching the cycle. Let's see if she can get it. And, ooh, a bit close. Oh, just barely. Very nice. Oh, it looks like she's saving that little save that she did. Just barely making the cycle. It was pretty close. You're now going to be entering another Octoling and another personal best by Ymuy. She is just crushing it. But anyway, you're going to be entering another Octoling level. This one is a lot harder because now we got Octolings with rollers, and these guys are ruthless. They can break your armor instantly. And once your armor's broken, these Octolings punch you down and they destroy you. So, players need to be very careful not to get their armor broken. pretty much not die at all. Yeah, these levels are pretty cool because instead of like a vertical level pretty much, it's basically like a hunt and search on one singular area. And so there is like a lot of options that goes into taking like the fastest route as possible. And it actually like some routes are still evolving to this day. And we're still seeing new records on some of them, so it's really cool to see all the different routes and what's faster. You're now going to be switching to the Charger. He's doing level 13 right now. Fun fact, Ian actually is a former world record holder on this level 13. He was the first to get sub 130 on this level. That's probably not going to mean much to some people who don't speedrun Splatoon, but just an interesting fact. Ian has had some individual level world records here and there. He's been doing NG Plus for a really long time now. I think ever since the game well, he and NG Plus go way back. I remember when Ian had his run where he got Octavio world record, 420, and came seconds away from being which was the current world record holder at and just that battle and the fact he got so close with world record there. He has a lot of history in this category. He has taken a little bit of a break since Boom Noise took over record, but he is making a little bit of a comeback now, of course, to do this tournament and everything. It looks like Ian's going to be using Charger for level 15. This is one of those levels where the weapons do vary a bit between runners. Some use Hero Shot and some use Charger. Charger is a bit of a safer weapon to use, which is perfectly fine. I can't really say anything because I used to use Charger on that level before I started learning Hero Shot. I did do that. ymuy in level 12 with the bounce pads. ymuy is probably, I believe, the newest, one of the newest runners to the category, at least out of the runners in the tournament. And she's just been climbing up the leaderboards. And she's also been doing a lot of other categories. All missions, all collectibles, 1000%. She's definitely expanding her list of categories in this game. Looks like Ian's struggling a little bit to get up. He does have his armor broken, so he does need to be pretty careful. This level 14 parking garage can be a very looks like Yumui's gonna be heading to 13. He's gonna be heading to level 11. Level 11 involves these enemies called Tentacooks, which basically start like basically running away when you see them, and your goal is to pretty much chase them. But here we actually use the hero shot to get them before they even have a chance to. As you can see right there in that second, Ian just immediately shoots down the Tentacook before he has a chance to run. The weapon optimizations and strats are really cool. That's what makes this category so unique. After the Octo expansion tournament, we wanted some sort of category from Hero Mode, or a single player. And NG Plus was really the way to go. Every other category has DJ Octavio as a mandatory boss. At the very end, no less. And since he's such RNG, it just kind of makes races a bit unfair sometimes. And so we had to go with the only category where he was optional, and that was NG+. It is also a community favorite, too. Some people call it the only good category in Hero Mode, and honestly, I don't. I kind of agree. Because it's the most fair category. It's a lot of fun, too. It's a lot of fun to just go through these levels, the fastest possible. And the fact that just such an intense category, too. Looks like ymuy is going to be actually using the hero in parking garage. You'll see some differences between the charger and the hero shot. He is not going to be going into the World 3 boss, Octo Stomp. ymuy actually going for parking garage skip there. Didn't quite make it, but she didn't die either. Which is perfectly fine, because dying in that section actually takes you all the way back to the beginning. So yeah, definitely, it's definitely a risky strat because of that. Anyway, Octostop is an extremely precise boss because you basically have to shoot the buckle that's protecting, that's like this jacket, this uninkable jacket that's protecting Octostomp. And Octostomp's patterns are a little unpredictable. There is a way to manipulate them, I'm pretty sure, but it's really hard. And oh, getting sub 1 minute there. That is very impressive. Getting sub 1 on Octostomp is a very good time. Because I believe the world record is 56 seconds. And it's really hard to get sub 1 minute on the boss in general, so that's very impressive. And now entering World 4 and going right to that world's boss, Octo Shower. Another pretty precise boss since we're using the charger. It's basically going to be shooting these octocopters that are carrying Octo Shower. And that's pretty much what this boss fight is going to be. So far, we're doing a pretty good job. You need to make sure that he gets, you not only... Basically what you need to do is you not only need to shoot the octocopters pretty fast because, you know, it's speedrun, but also because if you don't shoot them fast enough, Octoshell will actually run away, and then start charging at you, making it really hard to shoot him. So the best strategy is shoot all the octo before that happens, so you don't lose time. We're now going to be doing the Octoling level. You might actually use a lot of pretty unique routes for getting the mini Zatfish here. It looks like Ian is going to be using the chart. This level has like a split pathway. Basically, you need to go through both pathways in order to get 2 keys to continue the level. This is another one of those levels varies in weapon-wise. This one, some runners use the hero shot and some use the charger. And again, the charger is just a more safer weapon to use. Looks like ymuy is going to be doing Octo Stop now. Yeah, Octostomp Spuck can be very hard to shoot because Octostomp is constant, so it can be pretty hard to just snipe that buckle. One of the reasons why because that final jump there can be pretty hard to shot because you basically have to shoot this propeller that's slightly out of reach. For hero shot, you gotta kind of like jump and like inch yourself forward a little bit, and it is a bit easy to fall off if you're not careful when using a hero shot. But with the charger, you have a lot more risk falling off. You can just shoot the propeller, so that's why some people use the charger there. Ian now going to be hitting into level 19, struggling a little bit with the boxes there. This is one of the longest. This is the longest level, besides Octavio, which doesn't count. Mostly because, like level 20, this level also has split paths, except it has 3 paths to go down to collect 3 keys. And each path offers something different. The first one, as you can see, the middle one offered grappling hooks. This one has some switches of these moving platforms. It is kind of the theme of it. You're now going to be going for cycle. This is what he's going to be doing, is planting a bomb, and then so he has time for when it gets activated, this platform can start moving to get that switch right there. We're now in World 4, going to be doing level 16, which is centered around these bowling balls, which is a pretty interesting addition to Splatoon. These bowling balls have pretty weird hitboxes. They can be pretty annoying because all of the paths are very narrow. And these bowling balls can easily knock you off if you're not. looks like Ian is approaching the final section here. There's one big squeegee area, which can be a bit frustrating for runners. He's going to be doing the best he can to mimic Squeegee's behavior. Oh, looks like he was able to make it on for them. And oh, he went onto 3 squeegees to make it to the super jump platform in the level 236. That is a pretty good time. Because that setup can be very hard to pull off. It's also kind of random, and how exactly the squeegees react to the setup. So it's definitely not a guarantee. So even though the setup is pretty standard, sorry, not standard. Even though like basically there's a setup to to obviously get the fastest path to complete that section, of course. But it's not guaranteed because the squeegee's behavior is random, of course. That's what I meant to say. Ian taking a bit of an unfortunate death at the beginning there. You'll see the Dooley's dodge roll be put because some of those floors are unangleable. So we'll be dodge rolling across. And ooh, looks like we can make the cycle there. Looking at the camera. Really? But that was kind of expected since he did die in the first section of the level. This last section can be a bit deadly because you basically have a bunch of moving platforms and you're going uphill against these bowling balls. So if you're not looking at where the bowling balls are coming at you, they can easily knock you off the stage. Roy is not going to be king. Half of it is an auto-scroller. So it's going to be a pretty set level. Just gotta go through the beginning section as quickly as possible, of course. The section that ymuy is doing right now was an auto-scroller in the internet because but we're using the dualies so we can use the dodge roll to make this section go faster. Unfortunately, it doesn't change anything about the final because it's basically a platform that's moving all by itself while a bunch of enemies kind of rain down from above. So there's nothing that we can to make that section faster. Pretty good level 17 by Ian. That last section could be frustrating because it has a bunch of forms, and if you and if they're not angled right, you can actually slide off them. Because if they're on too much of a slope, you instead of on them, you can actually fall. You're not always going to be you can't always stand on them. Once they hit a certain slope, your character will actually start sliding. We're now going to be going into level 19 now. Okay, he's going to be doing some little dance and spinning for us. Gonna be squid bagging. Oh, hey, what else are you gonna do during this action? What else can you do during an auto-scroller? And oh, it looks like ymuy is gonna be going for... that's one of the things you slightly ink you slightly ink the switch, and if you go to where the other switch is going to be, and if you can actually pause the game, and it'll actually trick the game into thinking that the switch is completely inked. There's actually a lot more a safe strat to use, but still pretty effective. Or if you don't know, the faster one. You're now going to be doing World 4's Octavio level. This one, probably the longest because we're in Moray Towers, because everybody loves Moray Towers. It's everybody's favorite stage. So yeah, since the stage is pretty big, it does take... And also, one thing that really makes this level kind of frustrating is this level has an Octo Sniper, which I'm sure is another one of Moray Tower's best aspects. It's how you have snipers in Moray Towers. That's why everyone loves it so much, I'm sure. 49, a very nice time. Looks like ymuy there is going to be trying to get a boost from the squeegees. That actually is a backup strat in case you fall off. He is now going to be heading into the final world. We start off with 20. It's another heavy on grind rails level, pretty much. Looks like ymuy is going to be using the for level 20. And she's actually going to be doing right. That's interesting. A lot of runners actually go for the left side first. It's a lot more safer. But hey, we're going on this route. And, ooh, taking a little unfortunate death. Maybe I should start saying something other than unfortunate death. Just say, taking a death wave. Taking a sad death. Just taking a really odd death. I don't know. Yeah. The reason why anyone would go for right side first, because it is kind of like, I call it like the high risk, high reward. Mostly it evolves on like the cycle of flutter right here. If you take right side first, if you do it fast enough, then the flutter will actually be right where you want it to be when you get to left side. But since you didn't do it fast enough, the flutter was on the opposite end. That's why it's safer to do left side first, because the flutter will be in the right spot. And if not, it usually faces towards you, so you can get its attention pretty easily. Twenty is also a bit of a cycle based, because you basically have to throw a bomb into like that little area with all the ink columns in order to move this platform. You're now going to be doing World 5's Octavio. This one could be a bit frustrating as well, because the Octavians are a lot more ruthless. And also their behavior is a bit random. And that can actually cost a lot. Especially in this section right here. There's this roller octoling bombs almost right in your path if you're not fast enough. And it could be really critical. He's not gonna be hitting into. This is probably everyone's least favorite level to do. It's probably one of the hardest levels at that matter. Because basically, there are so many things that can go wrong in this level, and so many aspects of the game that runners don't really like very much, all combined into one devious level. We're now going to be doing the World 4 boss. I actually just realized that Ian's actually this level. That's interesting. I usually see a lot of that. Who am I to judge? Because Ian's also going to be using special to try to get rid of the Octo Commanders. They can be pretty annoying. And almost didn't make it off that squeegee there. But hey, still got sub 2 minutes. That's a win in my book, honestly. That final section could be really frustrating because you got squeegees, and you have to basically stand on top of these like really small towers. And while these Octo Commanders shoot at you non-stop. So yeah, you can probably see how that section could be really bad. You're now going into level 26. There's another bowling ball level. So the bowling balls are stacked up upon each other. So yeah, ymuy is using the for level 22, and you can see why, because there's that rail on that level. And also the dodge rolls come in handy in some places, depending on what strats you're using. Means could be using the Inkstorm special, hit the drum switch on the left there to automatically extend that platform, leading him to the Zapfish at the end. It looks like Ian is now on. These ones can be pretty difficult because you got to use very precise shots to try to get the right cycles. 24 has been known to be a very tricky. And oh no, he accidentally went into squid form and went through the grate there. He's looking at us like, really? Did that really just happen? Fortunately, it did, buddy. We can see now that Ian's going to use switches that are up in the air. It's basically this giant cube, and each side has a switch to it. And then the main thing is using this spinning platform to get to these areas where you can access the switch. But with the charger, you can just get all of them from below. And then the only time when you need to use the platform, to activate, or inside it appears when active. Right now, Ian's gonna be final. The name of the stage is Platform Madhouse, and it definitely does not. This stage involves a lot of platforms, and it can be a madhouse at some time. And ooh, that was. Maybe I should stop saying something. Then ooh, ah. But basically, what happened there is one of the enemies shot Ian's inkling, and if that happens, he actually loses his momentum. So because of that, he just fell off the stage. That was one of the things you have to look out for in this level. That is a common mistake, unfortunately. You just gotta watch for the enemies that are aiming at you. Now he's gonna be approaching his final section. If he can make that, oh no! Almost, he almost made it. And there he goes. He's gonna make it. Unfortunately, boy, taking a splat. He wasn't able to get onto the platforms in the right way. This section is very technical and very tricky. But it looks like he's just about done. There we go. Final time 9. It's pretty good. It's about 3 minutes off from race's time. Definitely one of the top runners right there. But now he's done. We'll see if he can get him here for a post interview. Hello, Ian.
Hello.
You can turn your microphone up a little bit. Can't hear there that well.
Oh jeez. I don't
There you
exactly
go.
know.
I can hear you
Oh
now.
yeah, it's because my mic is a bit far away from me. But hi, Ogo. You want me to talk about that run?
Yeah, how'd you think that run went?
I got 2 words for you about that run. Those 2 words would be stick drift. Oh my.
I actually could see it a bit.
It was a disaster in the stick drift category. But I made a lot of mistakes, especially in World 5. If you were watching the end of that, I lost about a minute. So,
Yeah.
not my finest work, but it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you, me?
Here,
Looks like you're doing good.
final couple levels here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. How you feeling? How you feeling about the rest of the tournament, Ian?
I'm going to have to play a lot better than that if I want to go far in this. But if I practice hard enough, I'm sure I can do well. But that first game was not a great showing of what I'm capable of, but that's all right. That is fine.
Yeah, you can't have that stick drift either.
Yeah, I may have to pull out Joy-Cons for the time being.
Cons.
because I just got a stick replaced on my Joy-Cons. But my Pro Controller is a mess now, which is great, so... What are you gonna do? Oh well.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate to have to be battling that.
Yeah, I took a couple of deaths in the first world to it, and I just knew I was not going to have a great time, but powered through. Everything worked out.
Yeah, I saw a couple times that, like, you were just going forward and you just stopped.
Yeah.
You're just kind of pulling you back.
I know for other mistakes I made, though, I screwed up in 4th boss pretty badly, where I missed one of my shots, and then he went into extra phases. And then my World 5, as I said, was not good. Everything else was alright, but I definitely took some small time losses here and there.
Alright, well thank you, Ian. Alright, so we're gonna stick around, let ymuy finish here. Only got a couple more levels to go. So Ian will now be moving on to round 2 of the winner's bracket. And we'll either be going up against me or Silgo 3. That match will be taking place on Friday at 11:30 p.m. So stay tuned for that. I won't be up here commentating. You're welcome. Someone else will be, because I'll be on screen playing. Looks like ymuy was able to finish 25. Only got about 2 levels left. Well, no, does have 2 levels left. Not about. What am I talking about? Got 26 with the bowling balls, and that's how numbers work. 26 and 27. And, looks like she's struggling a little bit, but seems to be fine. It is kind of easy there if you're not, because while the bowling balls are coming at you, spinning. So getting hit by one of the bowling ball, but not today. Using the ink storm there to hit the switch. I actually can't wait to play myself on Friday. This really is a fun category. I can't wait to show my own talents. Because as well as being the host and organizer, I am also participating. Alright, ymuy on the final level. The Octavio level, no less. All runners basically pretty much use the dualies because they're the best for movement. They're the best for moving pretty fast. And also can like, yeah, they're pretty good for, because the dualies are pretty light too. Really, yeah, so for a movement that kind of involves just like, you know, what this level offers, you know, looting, and getting all the Zap fish, dualies work the best. And there we go. That is, let's see, the hour part is cut out, but I'm pretty sure that is a 1:11:30. Good. Let's see if we can get ymuy in here. Hello.
Hello? Yeah.
Hello, ymuy. How do you think that run went?
Well, compared to Trottin, terribly. But for me, it was pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I don't know how.
How do you feel being in this tournament with what's coming?
I'm kind of scared. For
That's okay.
well, because my menuing is pretty bad.
I'm sorry.
I still screw up on menuing sometimes.
Yeah.
But
you've really been improving these last couple of weeks, getting ready for the tournament. So
yeah.
I'm very excited to see where
I had
you're
to
next.
I had to open up my my actual proper splits so I could remember what weapons go with what level.
Yeah.
Because I memorized some of them, but not all of them. So I had to open it up to remember, that's what weapon I used for that level.
Right. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for participating. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Never give up.
Wise words. Wise words.
Alright.
Okay, well, that's going to be it for the NG Plus tournament match today. This has been TalonTrottinIan versus ymuy. We'll see Ian in the winners bracket, and then ymuy will be up against Magic 8 Ball in losers bracket, so that'll be very soon.
Magic 8 Ball, that's a great name.
And the next match that we have scheduled is Friday at 11:30. It'll be me versus Cecile Go 3, so stay tuned for that. Thank you to both runners for being here today. Big thanks to SpeedGaming and everyone for helping us make this tournament possible and for getting it out there. These guys are amazing and are really hardworking and did a really good job helping us make this possible. So thank you guys very much. This Discord server is going to close once I end the episode, so everyone's going to be kicked out. Just warning, FYI.
Alright.
So I'm going to say my final thanks to everyone.
See you, people.
Alright, well, that is going to be it for today. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to SpeedGaming. Thank you for the runners. And we'll be back with the Splatoon 2 New Game Plus Octavio Tournament 2019 very soon. Thanks everyone again for watching, and have a good day.